and also healthy at the same time, especially at this moment that we are still on the battle with the pandemic, the COVID-19. I hope you are all well. Of course, first of all, we would like to thank you for joining us here at the Hult Prize at the University of Mindanao info session and the launching of the on-campus program. And despite your busy schedules with work and with classes, and I know that some of you have already been at some point tired because for the whole day that you have been always doing your work through online virtually, you're always facing your computer. So we thank you and we really appreciate your presence here with us, although virtually lang ating Hult Prize launching. Okay, so this really shows your interest in knowing what opportunities that await the university students here, and it also exemplifies your desire to lead in changing the world, diba? So thank you very much, and good evening to all of you. And of course, I would like to introduce myself. I am Rob Gumbad, the Operations Manager of the Hult Prize at University of Mindanao, and your moderator for tonight's event. So stay tuned lang today. Tonight, we will get to know more about the Hult Prize movement. And of course, we will also get to know the Hult Prize Challenge for the 2021, which is very, very exciting and which is very important, especially with us here in Mindanao. So, and of course, we will also show you the possibilities or the opportunities that you can take with our impact-driven events coming in the next couple of days as part of the on-campus program organized, of course, by the HP at University of Mindanao. Also, we have invited a very multi-talented, very multi-awarded, rather, guests, and also a former challenger of the Hult Prize to give us a valuable inside scoop of the Hult Prize movement, of course, you know, so we can have a feel of what it is to join in the Hult Prize Challenge. All right, before we begin, I would like to acknowledge first our partners, of course, the UMasenso Hub, the Council of Student Government of the University of Mindanao, StreetBy, of course, our media partner, the Mindanao Times, and of course, the partners of the Hult Prize Foundation, that's the unicorn.org and the United Nations through its Office of Partnership. Of course, I would also like to acknowledge we are joined here, of course. I saw, I think the president of the Council of the Student Government, Mr. Saluta, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, and also the first campus director of the HP at is also here. Her name is Miss Charlene May Borneo. Ayan. Thank you very much for coming. Also, si Sheldon pala yun. Hello sa iyo, Sheldon, and to all of our guests here in the Hult Prize at info session and launching. Of course, we also would like to, this year's on-campus program would not be possible without the efforts of our very dynamic HP at Executive Committee, headed by, of course, the campus director, Richard Arday. Yes, meron palang paklap. Our community engagement manager, of course, Ms. Hannah Tamayo. Our finance manager, Mr. Luke Perez. Our social media manager, Jessica Gloria Cabanilla. And our content designer, Ms. Monica Maniquez. Ayan, thank you very, very much. Okay, unfortunately, we weren't able to figure out the live through Facebook, but you can still like our Facebook page. That's Hult Prize at University of Mindanao for more updates about the upcoming events. And also, we would also like you to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. That's at Hult Prize UM. Ayun. At Hult Prize UM. Ayun, yun pala yun. Of course, for the questions later on to our guests, you may send them through our chat box, and our friends from the executive committee will be putting them forward for you. Okay? So, to formally begin our information session and the launching, and to tell us more about the Hult Prize movement, we would like to call in, of course, the community lead of the Hult Prize in the Philippines, Mr. Marion Paul Camacho. Sir Marion, take it away.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So my name is Marion Camacho, and I am the community builder for the Hult Prize Foundation in the Philippines. And it's a pleasure to be here at your launch. This is actually the first time I've worked with, the University of Mindanao, and we're very excited to see what you guys have come up with, especially this year. UM has been part of the Hult Prize movement for so many years, and we're excited to have you on board for another year, this 2020 and 2021 cycle. So before we begin, I'd love to share my screen and share with you a short video of what the Hult Prize is all about. Oh, requesting to share my screen, please. Thank you.
Can you do it again, sir? Try to share your screen. Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So disabled. It's fine. We're not in a rush.
Okay. Okay. Di pa rin.
Di pa rin.
How about that one?
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Sweet. All right. Okay, so before we begin, I'd love to show you a 6-minute video of what the Hult Prize is, the entire cycle for 1 year and 6 minutes. Here we go.
So picture this, from September till today, those entrepreneurs have been living and breathing Hult Prize. This is a stressful day, to say the least. Imagine how much at stake, how many working hours, how much sweat, how much effort they've put in. And imagine how it's all gonna come down to a 6-minute pitch.
No matter what the challenge is, and no matter how much money you have or don't have, people still have to figure out how to turn their good intentions into positive changes that move other people's lives, to build a world where every day we make the definition of us bigger and the definition of them smaller. The 2018 Hult Prize Challenge will be about the power of energy to positively transform the lives of at least 10 million people within 5 years by 2023. I am eager to see what they come up with.
I really had no idea what social entrepreneurship was until Hult Prize came into my life.
If you can come up with a new idea, a scalable, profitable business, you can really change society from the roots up.
Our idea started with the problem. We spent days digging deeper and deeper, and one day the solution just clicked.
Innovation doesn't necessarily mean creating something entirely new. It means looking back at different gaps that exist within the market, and that's where you can be an entrepreneur.
We want to make an impact. What we're doing is about them and not about us.
We have come up with a plan that can actually help a lot of people. This happened because of Hult Prize.
Winning the school competition was surreal.
Welcome to the 2018 Regional Finals. Are you excited?
Hosting the Hult Prize Regionals. It doesn't get better than this.
Haiti is participating for the first time.
My country, man. Represent.
The youth here refuse to live in a world that's filled with challenges that they're really going to commit the rest of their lives to solving. I know you're a little bit nervous.
You're showing up to a new city, you don't know anybody, you're pitching a business in front of a bunch of people who are very smart, and you're thinking to yourself, am I good enough? Did I do enough work?
We'll be fine. It'll all work out.
Nervous and excited.
So difficult to do. I know how difficult it is to do. Is just take this random idea and then actually make it seem like this could happen.
Not to say to crush it. Yeah, but you know, we're definitely aiming for a win.
Thank you so much.
But fantastic.
What makes a pitch good? It needs to be human, it needs to be elegant, it needs to be in your voice, and it shouldn't say anything it absolutely doesn't need to.
The quality of the projects we saw was just mind-blowing.
These kids really know the material. And at 22, 23, I was eating paste at that age.
I want to cut a check to all of them.
If we want to talk numbers, the probability of winning Hult Prize is 0.00004%.
And the winner is...
When they announced it, I just could not comprehend anything.
A really amazing feeling.
Incredible, really. I'm so excited.
How do you guys feel you lost?
I mean, we're happy for these guys.
I'm a little mad we lost, but you know, you can't win every time. Can you cut that out?
You have to fail in order to advance. ProTrash has failed a lot of times, a lot. And that has brought us to today, to ProTrash as a reality, right?
If you got a good team and they're really motivated, right? If what they originally set out to do doesn't work, they'll find a way to pivot and find something that will work.
Oh, we're actually working on the wild card. We're doing a different project and we're gonna see what happens.
The wild card. Look for your team name on the screen.
That's how we got to the accelerator. It was epic.
Yeah, we continue to try to provide some theatrics. Keeps things exciting.
People wanted to be there, but they didn't make it, but you did. So do your best. Like there's no tomorrow.
Welcome to the Hult Prize Castle Accelerator.
It's time to go to work.
The main asset that we have here is just the sheer amount of expertise between all the mentors.
Yeah, everybody wants to make the world a better place, but we're the community that shows everybody how. Do, learn, do. It's make-believe until you go and act.
It's been a lot of work.
Why aren't we there yet? What are the barriers?
Every failure was a spectacular failure, but that means that what's going to work is going to be a spectacular success.
I've literally learned more here in these 6 weeks than I have in 2 years at college.
Do you realize what we did here, Eamon?
Congratulations on pulling off a fantastic accelerator.
I don't think I will ever be so fortunate as to be in a place like this ever again.
We are part of the Hult Prize family forever.
The impact has been embedded within their whole life.
Today is the end, but I think everyone's excited for what's next.
Thank you on behalf of the Hult Prize Foundation family, United Nations, Hult International Business School, and all of our partners for making it here. Best of luck.
This is real and this is happening now.
I hope that irrespective of the outcomes, you stay connected to our community, to each other, and you continue to lead a generation to change the world.
If we win, we keep going. If we don't win, we keep going.
Where is it gonna go? It's gonna go somewhere great. What if it doesn't? I'll make it go somewhere great.
They've been at this for 12 calendar months. For this one moment in time, 6-minute pitch is gonna literally decide the rest of their life. Because winning the $1 million Hult Prize changes everything.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the finals of the Hult Prize.
Tonight's lineup is going to be fast. It's going to be exciting, and hopefully you're going to get a sense of what entrepreneurship of the future looks like. All right, it's showtime. Give it up for Ulight, Impact Race, Newer Medical, Team FIDA, Sunrise, Empower. Help me congratulate all of the finalists for the 9th annual Hult Prize. Well done.
The winner is Sunrise University College.
We thought that what we've achieved so far was definitely unreachable when we first started, but Hult Prize really inspires everyone from any sort of background to just go out there and make change.
So, thank you for watching that. Once again, my name is Marian Camacho, your local community builder for the Hult Prize Foundation. I'm also the business development manager for Japer Startup House Manila, and at the same time, the CEO and founder of my own startup, which I would be more than happy to share once we gain some traction. this is also our on-campus Asia Regional Manager, Freddy Regay. So he's not on the call, but anytime you, especially for our campus directors, if you have any concerns about the Hult Prize competition, he's going to be here to help us out. So the Hult Prize is not just an event that you attend. We are a community, a global movement that aims to make the world a better place. And this includes our amazing team all around the world, including our very own on-campus program organizing committee at the University of Mindanao, led by Richard A. Hult Prize was founded in 2009 by our CEO and founder, Ahmad Ashkar. And to date, the Hult Prize has invested $65 million in impact, but we're just getting started. The Hult Prize has been named the Nobel Prize for Students for a reason. It's because we are empowering the youth everywhere around the world to take action to build a better world. And the Hult Prize also provides multiple avenues for social good ideas to scale. From demo days to pitching events, our program provides for it. Our movement also provides for training sessions for aspiring entrepreneurs to iterate and strengthen their value proposition on solving social issues. And of course, just like any community, we know how to have fun. We take time to celebrate small wins, especially when we know we are making significant traction in making the world a better place. Most importantly, we are a community and we need to build on each other's successes. Because in the end, because we share one common vision and one common goal, which is to lead the world, to lead a generation to change the world. So since our inception in 2009, our movement has had 2.1 program alumni coming from 121 countries, which is amazing. To date, we are running 2,000 on-campus programs with about 300,000 participating annually. Winners of our on-campus programs qualified to our regionals. Last year, we had about 50 from different cities all around the world, from Boston, San Francisco, Lima to Ankara, London to Tokyo, and hopefully soon next year, we bring it back to the Philippines next year. So why the Hult Prize? Well, it's because we believe at the Hult Prize, especially our founder, Ahmad Ashkar, he believes that young people like yourselves have the skills, the talent, and the wisdom to become catalysts of change around the world. Our Hult Prize alumni has created great social good companies based in different parts of the world, from the Americas to Europe to Africa to the Middle East, right here in Asia, and especially here in the Philippines. The CEO and founder of Aspire Food Group, Mohammed Ashur, the 2013 Hult Prize winner, said that the Hult Prize is a train where every single stop in the journey is a learning lesson, and the destination is that newfound fact that you can be an entrepreneur. Leslie Perez, Chief Marketing Officer of our 2019 Hult Prize winner, Rotopia, also said that as a female entrepreneur, Hult Prize was a gateway towards the opportunity that ignited a flame in me that will forever burn. So again, we are not just here to hold the competition. We are here to empower each and every single one of you, from the participants all the way to the organizing committees, to make a difference around the world. To date, we run multiple programs, including our very own on-campus program, which is why we're here. So just an overview, so we organize these on-campus programs, and whoever wins in our on-campus programs get to move on to our regionals, which is again held in 50 different cities around the world. Top teams, or the winner for each regional competition, goes on to our accelerator, which they go a 5 to 6 week program, and the top 6 teams from that accelerator goes to move on to our UN Global Finals, our Global Finals at the United Nations every September in New York City. So as mentioned, we also host regional summits in different parts of the world. And winners, as I said, get to participate in our accelerator program, and the top 6 teams compete for that $1 million funding at our annual UN Summit and Gala held at the United Nations headquarters in New York City. So for the past 12 years, we have done significant challenges that range from education, healthcare, the refugee crisis. Last year was about bold businesses for a better future, wherein every company should yield a net positive impact for every dollar earned. And this year, we are launching our challenge, which is Food for Good. transforming food into a vehicle for change, creating jobs, stimulating economies, reimagining supply chains, and improving outcomes for 10 million people by 2030. And just to give you an overview of what the Hult Prize Challenge is all about, I'd like you to watch this video again with me. So yeah, thank you for watching that video with us. So Food for Good, transforming food into a vehicle for change. While our world is making advances in science and technology, there are still some parts of the world that can't even source this most basic need. And this is why we're mobilizing this challenge to create jobs, stimulate economies, reimagine supply chains, and improve outcomes for 10 million people by 2030. And it couldn't have come at a better time. Right now, as we're dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, we are seeing our traditional food baskets wasting food supply, not because they don't want to waste it, but because the demand does not suffice the need anymore. And even before COVID, you would go to fast food chains and you would see all these wasted food that could have been that another family could have benefited from. So we are launching this challenge to build a more sustainable ecosystem, not only for ourselves, but also our food supply chain. Similarly, our community in the Philippines is growing. We have one of the largest communities in the region, and our program is reaching places like Isia, La Union, Iloilo, Zamboanga, Misamis Oriental, and Mindanao del Norte. So before I end my talk, we leave you with this question. How will you change the world with $1 million? Think about it. And we encourage you to join your on-campus program because who knows, you may become the first Hult Prize global winners from the Philippines who will deliver significant change in our society. To get in touch with us, please feel free to connect with us through our social media accounts at Hult Prize. You can follow our CEO and founder, Ahmad Ashkar, at Mayor of Impact, and our local social media accounts at Hult Prize PHL. So once again, we invite everyone to join us in this movement, excuse me, because in the end, it's for us and by us. We aim to empower everyone to make a difference in society, and we look forward to work with you as we build a more inclusive and sustainable world for every single Filipino and every single one of us living in our amazing world. So once again, my name is Marian Camacho, the community builder for the Philippines for the Hult Prize Foundation. If you have any questions, please feel free to connect with me on social media. Thank you so much for our UM community, our amazing campus director, Richard, our organizing committees, and of course, all of you attending this call. So Again, thank you. We look forward to have you on board as we lead a generation to change the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marion Camacho, the community lead of the Hult Prize in the Philippines. Thank you very much. I'm sure that most of you here, because during our organizing process with the on-campus program, there have already been inquiries. So at least now they will be enlightened about how they are going to approach this this program and this challenge for this year, or for 2020 rather. All right. So of course, I guess we would, before we get your questions, we are going to talk to, of course, one of the experienced, how do you call this, challenger. He is very already successful right now. So I will introduce you to him to we will explore how does it really feel to be in that competition and to get to that regionals or the final competition. All right. So our guest for tonight is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering from the University of Mindanao and Mechanical Engineering from the Mats College of Technology. He was the first ASEAN International Mobility for Students exchange student for engineering program to King Mongkut's University of Technology, Thonburi in Bangkok, Thailand. He has been awarded with numerous recognitions across the country and the globe for events such as the ASEAN Business Summit, United Nations Environmental Programs, and Ministry of Sciences of different ASEAN countries. He has worked as a freelance natural science researcher for industrial sciences and applications across Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea, and many more. He is currently the Research and Development Manager of the Rad Green Solutions Corporation. It's a Davao-based engineering company that developed, patented, and manufactured an environmentally sound machine medical waste processor, the Pyroclave Optima, and of course the Pyroclave Optima, as far as our research is concerned, is the technology that he competed in the Hult Prize Regionals in 2018 in Ecuador. To share with us his Hult Prize journey, of course, please welcome Engineer Neil Anthony Jamili. Sir Neil, take it away.
Thank you so much, Rob. Before that, I'd like to clarify things first. I studied chemical engineering in UM, but I didn't took my mock boards. So I also am an exchange student for environmental wastewater engineering in Thailand. But my degree is in mechanical engineering. So to talk about my Hult Prize experience, first I'd like to say hello and long time no see to Miss Charlene Bernea. She's actually our campus director during my time. She's the first campus director of the Hult Prize. But during my time, I joined Hult Prize in University of Mindanao by 2018. But prior to that time, Hult Prize was not really that famous in UM. It was only when Miss Charlene and OSA, UM OSA, were broadcasting and advertising Hult Prize in the University of Mindanao that made more students encouraged to join Hult Prize. So when I joined Hult Prize, to tell you honestly, everyone, my perception was, let this be my last international hurrah before I graduate college. Because of that, there were about, I think, 4 teams vying for the finals that time. And also by that time, my team is composed of 2 chemical engineering students, 1 mechanical engineering, and the other one is an entrepreneurship student. That time, we competed at ApoView, but then during the presentation proper, the competition proper, we didn't won the school-based competition, the on-campus event. So we technically were the first runner-ups of the event. By then on, I was very sad because I was prepared for everything. I was prepared to win. Like most of them were expecting us to win, but we didn't want. So, but it's okay for me. But I only have a couple of hours to grieve because I'm the team leader, and I always had to encourage my team members. Weakness should never be present by the face of Neil Jamili to empower my other teammates. So by then, we think of a recourse that we can uplift our team. So maybe my teammates gave me a couple of minutes in the cab to cry. Then after that, like Rail, one of my team member, which happens to be now a faculty and a coach for Hult Prize in UM, told me that we should join the Windows application. And Miss Charlene was very accommodating to us prior to that, to join the window application. For those who doesn't know, window application actually is an open application for any Hult Prize participating school before to join for a regional selection. Whether you're qualified or not, then you're going to go to the regionals as well, regardless if you win the on-campus or not. So by then, we joined the regional window application. We had to choose a regional, top 3 regionals, but because our system is into medical waste treatment, which is very timely right now, Rob is actually has been actually on our office. So we tried to pick up Ecuador because our system was on solar system, so it uses the power of the sun. The challenge in 2018 was harnessing the power of energy to empower lives of people across the globe. So technically, our system is treating medical waste, then after that for the disposal, and at the same time, it is an enterprise because it's actually earning. The Philippines, for example, has RA 6969, so that's the basis of our ingenious machine. We treat medical waste before throwing them on the landfills, and we're actually getting paid by medical facilities all across the country. Back then, that was just an idea, but now I'm very proud to tell everyone that we're now serving the rest of the Philippines, and we're penetrating Dubai as well as Indonesia and Singapore for this year. So when we joined the Windows application, we were just all cross fingers. We don't know what to expect. It's hard. It's differently. It's hard because there are some Ivy Leagues joining as well. And well, I'm from University of Mindanao, and maybe I was out of the radar for these universities, but we presented very well in terms of our economics, of our sciences. So when we joined, it was around October, November, I think. Then one of my teammates coming from the library, you know that library is in the 4th floor. He ran directly to the 2nd floor to the room where I usually stay and was shouting that we were part of the top 51 in Ecuador. So we were just ecstatic. We don't know what to feel after the downs, and here comes the up. Then we only rested for a week, maybe, and then prepared for the next battle. Well, during our flight, our quest going to Ecuador, it was crazy because number one, going to Ecuador would cost us around 1.2 million pesos just to go us there, and we don't have that much amount. So what I did, I've been representing UM for a couple of international events. I wrote a letter to the university, and they sponsored us around 140,000. But still, that's not enough with the 1.2 million pesos. So what I did is I go to different companies and industries, and I told them about CSR. We talked about them about this crazy idea that we do have, and it so happened that one company supported us all the way to Ecuador. But since there are 4 members in the team and we don't have much money, we're only given around 800,000. So we had to go to Ecuador, maybe the 2 of us lang. So we really had a tight budget. I consider tight budget. And then the 2 of us were preparing for Ecuador. We bought a lot of souvenir items in Aldivinco. Like, for example, we bought some pearls as a token of appreciation or friendship to our friends, our competitors in Ecuador, because I'm a firm believer that make your friends close, your enemies closer. And for me, they're my enemies, but friendly enemies in the competition event. So when we went there, I do have a lot of funny stories to tell. Like, for example, when we were buying all of our stuffs, because it has all to be tailor-made, like our barongs has to be all uniform. It should be on a certain designer. Our bags are uniform. Our day 1, day 2, day 3 uniforms are all arranged, like coat and tie uniform. So we had to allocate budget as that as well. When we went to the immigration in Manila, the immigration officer was very strict that nobody's taking a line on his aisle. So I was trying to initiate a move that for us to pass by easier, I should go by the shorter line, which happens to be his area. So when I went there, like the immigration officer asked me, where are you going? Like in a monotonous tone, like where are you going? How long? Do you have return ticket? And I'm always very bubbly in terms of immigration. I so much love immigration officers when they interview questions me. So I just told the immigration officer, "Hi, sir. My name's Neil Anthony Jamili. I'm from the University of Mindanao, and we're representing, sir, my university and the Philippines as well. Here are my invitations, which is a brochure Hult Prize, which I actually send you as well. And part of the brochure, actually, there's a highlighted portion that states that you can win 1 million US dollars. And then the immigration officer was already grinning that, oh, 1 million US dollars. This is big. Then I told him, yes, sir. A punch to the moon, perhaps, but you can dream with me. And he was just smiling at us. Like he's saying, oh, this kid is confident. Like maybe it's true, like he can win or whatever. So when we went to Ecuador directly from, it's actually a long flight, around 30 to 50-hour flight. Imagine going to Ecuador because we didn't pass by US. What we did is Davao, Manila, Manila, Taiwan, Taiwan, Soccer, Netherlands, and Amsterdam, Schiphol. Then from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, to Guayaquil, then Guayaquil to Quito, Ecuador. So during that time, we were just like, when we were in Amsterdam already, this immigration officer again asked me because I was bringing a bulky wallet because I'm not bringing any cards by then because I'm not really fond of bringing cards. And when he asked me, how much money are you bringing? And then I told him around 300 to 400,000, sir. And then the immigration officer was just like, what? So by then we were hold for a moment. Then he was counting my money, but that was in Philippine peso. So no harm because it's around 10,000 US dollars lang na you can bring to the airport to other countries. So we were paused for a little, but those are just little setbacks. When we went to Ecuador, it was crazy because you're seeing horizons. Like you're traveling morning, you're traveling for around 12 hours, but still when you arrive to that place, that's still morning. When you're in the plane, you can see the horizon of the darkness and the light side of the world. It's crazy that when my grandparents like used to call me, what time is it there already? And then I just had to tell them, I already lost count of what time is it already because we've been traveling cross border to cross border. So time zones were crazy. When we arrived in Ecuador, the only now I can say, for example, in areas, I tell the immigration officer usually that, Señor, por favor, me habla español, español poquito, cuchara, tinidor, platito. I used to do like that because I'm not a Spanish speaker, but well, their English is it's challenging, I should say. But when we went to the competition to Ecuador, the first day itself that we saw the area where we're gonna battle, I already told myself that there's no turning back. I'm going to win. Or if not, I should be part of the top 6, which is a big part because that's 51. And in the regionals, actually, there's a total of 51 teams, and it's divided into 3 during my time in Quito, Ecuador. So that's around 17 per room, and that 17 per room had to present on morning and afternoon. Then after that, only top 2 per 17 teams will advance to the top 6. So it's very challenging. When we were presenting, prior to my entrance to the door, I was asking one Canadian student also outside, like, excuse me, how do you find the other presenters? And then they just used to tell me that they're not really good because they're not confident, so they're not really able to persuade the students or the audience. Their voice are very it's too low. So I told myself then, I'm Neil Anthony Jamili, and I'm not on the radar of these schools. So when I get into there, I say, let's see. So when the timer told me that timer starts when you're ready, I already enunciated like this in my voice, like, purpose and profit are two of the main reason why Hult Prize of the University of Mindanao appears here in Ecuador. Then they were already looking at me like their eyes were all on us, because who's this showstopper or whatever they can claim or attach whatever to my team. There's only two of us. So eventually, we had a call prior to our presentation. There are a lot of medias already outside, the national TV for Ecuador and whatever. When we went out of the room, all of them were actually clapping, and it's very unusual to see them clapping according to other presenters inside. So when by the way, it's a castle that we presented. It's a big, it has big doors. It's crazy. So when we went out, Ecuador national channels or cameras coming from Hult Prize were all projected to us, asking, "Hey, they say that your team did very well. Could you say a little about what's the presentation or whatever?" It was amazing for me because I'm not used to that. Interviews like that are heart melting, because, well, I traveled almost 30 hours coming from the Philippines, and for them to appreciate you like that is amazing. So when we went down to the first floor, because our presentation was on the second floor, I was already like putting my fingers crossed, like hopefully I can go to the top 6, because the final presentation is in a glass castle. By the way, Ecuador is too cold. Like, it's the center of the earth, but it's too cold. Like, it's the second highest city in terms of altitude in the world. So there are some heaters and whatever, but even if it's cold, I still feel weird, because I was looking forward for the announcement whether we belong to the top 6 or not. Eventually, when after all the presentation of the 17 teams, there was a callback. The callback was crazy because they will call around 3 teams inside a room to verify questions. And for me, the callback was either to make you or break you, because they can actually possibly say that you belong to the top 3 or to the top 3, but you could be the first placer, or worse is that you're the third placer. So you had to do your very best prior to the callback. My team back then was called SRAD Green Solutions, which is Students Research and Development. Our goal back then was to empower the theses, the research works of students in the university, to bring them into life, to give to channel the corporate social responsibilities of big industries to these researchers to be in the public, for public consumption, for public use. So when I had the call back, and then they were asking if you would be given $1 million US, what would you do with it? I was just telling them, ma'am, sir, I have here a flash drive that proves that we are serious in making changes in the world. We are bound to cross the continent, beyond the globe, with these researches. But on that flash drive, there's just around 4 researches, which are all my researches prior to the Hult Prize. So when they talk about that, we just had to be we were just so sincere. It was different because I was very formatted. I know what to do. I know where to smile. I know how to put my gestures very well. But during the heart-to-heart talk with the judges, it was different. During the final nights, like there's 6 teams, but they will announce gradually. So announce, present, announce, present, announce, present, announce, present. So all of the 5 teams were already called. So there's one remaining team to be introduced na lang. So it's on my room, the last team. So the speaker actually announced, finally, this is not the last, but the last team. It's the most amazing team. I know you'd be very amazed with the presentation that they gave us. So I was already nervous by then. I don't know whether that's my team or not. So when they announced that it's a team from the Philippines, and we are the only Philippine team by then who went to the top 6 so far, as far as I know, during that year. So when we were announced, I was nervous. My nerves were my knees were trembling. But I was walking. I believe with poise. And then I was reaching my hands to the one who announced, like, congratulations. And then thank you. Then I kept calm and then walked to the stage, and then I look at my other teammate, and then I told by then, like, not really on. I think it's psychological, that I told already my teammate, hey, this is it. We're gonna win. Hey, this is it. This is big. So by then we presented well. No more tension. No more pressure. And by then, even if it's around late na in Ecuador, like maybe around 10 or 11 in Ecuador, I'm not really sure. Miss Charlene, which is our campus director, was still supporting in Facebook chat, like sharing everything to our Filipino friends to watch us and support us. And I felt that we were so much blessed and awarded by the people there. They were all clapping for us. They were all very supportive to us. But well, there are other things bound to win the competition back then. And we were announced as the first runner-up. Though the first runner-up doesn't get a trophy or whatever, we were given a special certificate by the Hult Prize Committee in Ecuador to certify or recognize us as a first runner-up, which happens to be the first and highest award for a team and then the international team for the regional for the Hult Prize. When getting there, I think the main ingredient for my team actually was determination and willingness to work, because Hult Prize is not just an engineering competition or an entrepreneurial competition. It really is something that has to solve a problem. You had to ask, what's a problem, and then what solution can I give, which is part of the theme of a Hult Prize every year. And this always should cater a wider magnitude of people. And for now, actually, I'm very proud to say that Hult Prize really helped us a lot. Like, yun nga, we're already catering all COVID waste in the Philippines today. Rob knows that. Rob has interviewed us for the medical waste in the Philippines naman. And also, we're coaching also Hult Prize participating students this year. So, actually, kasama siya sa chat, but I won't disclose his name kasi unfair. So, we're supporting them both financially and other works. And I'm very proud that we were already able to have a budget of 2 million for his project for this Hult Prize competition. And we're gaining so much traction for regional places as well. So I think that's my experience in Hult Prize, and I'm very much happy to share to you all of that. And I hope that you learn from that. And also, I'll be very happy to answer questions and share more to you about my Hult Prize experience.
All right, thank you very much, Neil. Of course, while we are still waiting for the questions from our audience. Wow, that's very, very nice. I just wanted to go back, Neil, no? You've been, hindi kayo nanalo sa on-campus, but you still tried
Yes, we
with
did one.
the Windows application. First question is, what did that, and you advanced sa Windows, right? You were able to get to the regionals, right? So, what did that tell you sa parang, how did that motivated you, or what was the message? What is the lesson there in your experience? And second, during the time, because because there are times that when you don't really parang hindi ka nanalo in this competition, you would think there's something wrong with what I did. Was there a point that that you thought I should tweak something else, or I should keep it, something like that?
Okay, so to be very honest, Rob, I've been competing into different countries already prior to Hult Prize. Yun nga, I was telling myself that Hult Prize was supposedly my last international hurrah. Then I didn't win on the on-campus. For me, that's a slap. That's a personal problem for me, not winning. So I told myself something's wrong and we had to polish something. So we looked on to what's missing. We took on the advice of the Ayala group of companies and also some DOST things that they considered. Then after that, we went straight forward to the Windows application. The Windows application was very tricky for me because what you need to do is pass this project proposal plan. You had to do the essay, which should be very true, dramatic, whatever. Like you should write why us. And during my time, as far as I could remember, the email says like there's around 100,000 participants. So I don't know how we passed through there, but we did. It's really a work of the team. Like even Saturdays and Sundays, we had to convene at the university, even if Sundays are not allowed for school. But we have some excuses, naman. So, we it's not rented a room. Like we arbored a classroom in University of in UM. That's we print. We really are into the brainstorming part. I thought at first it was a joke that if you don't win in Hult Prize, like okay, it's the end. Or if you don't win the Hult Prize, you brainstorm, think again, join again, and maybe you could get through. I think that it's really, I really, at first, I thought it was a joke. But during my time that I had to experience the real brainstorming, everything was a glimpse of whatever the future was. And right now, yeah, I'm the current manager of the company that focuses on the same product that we presented in Hult Prize. And we continue to expand. So thank you so much, Hult Prize, for teaching me all those things. And I hope that the next UMian will also share the same fate.
Yeah, I just would like to clarify for the regionals, the first runner-up. Where does the first runner-up stand in the ranking of is it the how does Hult Prize rank the winners for the regional like?
Well, during the regionals, Rob, they only the winner, but there are instances that they award two winners. In my time, there's only one winner talaga. But the judges after the presentation went directly to us, talked about us like, hey, join again the window application, in which I was already busy by that time because there was already a lot of traction into our business venture. So by then, we were approached by the judges and told us that you were the first runner-up. Like the only thing about us was the magnitude because the winning team actually focused on production of briquettes. Briquettes are like charcoal from organic waste in Africa, and they already have this actual thing working in Africa. They're from Canada, McGill University, and then they were already doing projects in Africa. So that's a very big plus. That's why right now that I'm mentoring a team in Hult Prize, I'm telling them that also it should always be not really all the time, but it's a big plus if it's already in the public or it's already serving a bigger magnitude.
Yeah, that's the reason why I asked that because it's very amazing that the one you competed is the pyroclave, right? The pyroclave.
Yes.
It's a different name before during the time it's different name.
Yes, it was
Solaris.
Solaris. It was Solaris.
Yeah, Solaris. So it's so amazing that although you were not able to be the grandest, the winner, the pinakataas, but still your enterprise still proved to be very, very useful. And in fact, you have already expanded in some other places here in Mindanao with your technology. So what does that tell you and what does that should tell our future challengers?
Sorry, Rob. Usually, for that events kasi, like Hult Prize, it actually taught me how to be a businessman, how to think on business perspective. I'm a very straightforward engineering student. I was crafted as an engineering student, not as a businessman. But along the way to the Hult Prize event, I was able to meet some good mentors into business venture. across the Philippines, we already have around 8 installations. Our installations are no joke because, for example, you know that a single machine would cost you around 45 million, and these are government installations and private installations. So that that tells us a lot that you should never give up, because some people, of course, judges also are having do they have their own criteria, right? They have a criteria to follow. They have their own, maybe not really bets, but during that time, eto lang talaga yung mas naaangkop. During our time naman, it's very technical, but we didn't quit our passion, our dream, our hunger to solve that problem. You know that in the Philippines, before medical waste, they just throw it away with solid waste, and that's very harmful, which we really saw it as a problem. So we create our own solutions. Then after that, we didn't know really that it would come out as like a boom, like whatever. Even right now, COVID waste, we're handling COVID waste, which is very timely. Though we don't wish that, but we will still help the Filipino people because that's our cause. We always say at Red Green Solutions that we elevate lives, improve the community, improve lives, elevate the community, and sustain the planet. And that's still our battle cry, Rob.
I will go to Marion. Thank you for that, Sir Neil. No, very very related, very close to what Neil said. Actually, is I would like to ask Marion. You've been seeing many participants or many challengers already, and you've seen them succeed. You've seen them fail. So, what is really that one thing or that element that Hult Prize is looking for an enterprise to advance?
So you're pretty much asking what are the metrics on how an enterprise is being judged at the Hult Prize. So there's actually 5 main KPIs that a team is being judged upon for the Hult Prize. One is the idea. Is it cool, original, innovative? Does it solve a specific challenge? For this year, it's about food. Does it provide a solution to a basic human need? Second is, what's the traction? Do you have any progress on the idea? Are you working on an MVP or a prototype? Do you already have sales? Do you have term sheets already where you invite investors to invest in a company? That's number 2. Third is the impact. Is the world going to be a better place if you make money? Would the trajectory of the customer change for the better? And would it have a clear demonstration of utilizing food? Well, this year, would it clear demonstration of utilizing food for good? Fourth will be the wow factor. So it's pretty much a combination of everything. Does it have limitless opportunity to scale? Does it have a clear opportunity to raise money and gain momentum? And of course, would it be something that, for example, if I was a judge, would I be personally committing to it? And then the last, but definitely not the least, and I really try to put this at the very end, it's about the team. Are they diverse? Are they committed? Are they impressive? Do they bring a lot of different skill sets to the table? So all these different things are what factors into a great presentation or a great team. Similarly, there are 3 main things that for a startup itself, the company itself, 3 main things that we're looking for. One is it profit minded? It has to be a business. It cannot be a donation based, or it cannot be. It should be a profitable business. It should be an enterprise. There should be a clear business model, and there should be a pathway towards sustained profitability. Second, is it market driven? Is there product market fit? Does your product actually solve a specific problem in the world? And again, the enterprise should exist to solve an identified market problem. And then last but definitely not least, it should be impact centered, because again, impact is everything that we do here at the Hult Prize. And then there should be a net positive impact for every dollar earned. So I think I pretty much gave 2 different sets of judging, but you have to marry both to succeed.
Wow, that's very interesting, especially on the impact impact part, because as you go along, as you're earning, you're also bringing with you the people in your community to succeed as well, and to improve their lives as well. So I think that's very the main thing that one should consider in building their startups. Also, this one is we got this question a lot during our, how do you call this, during our organizing, our coordination. So we get this so much a lot because as for Neil, diba? Neil is a chemical engineering student, is a mechanical engineer as well, and he said he doesn't have any business background or experiences. So what we are actually getting are almost the same questions. There are apprehensions that, for example, I am an architecture student. I am a business, or I am a communication, I am a psychology, I am a library science student. So, but I have this idea. They are not, and I don't have any technical skills. So, but they really have this idea, and they feel that they wanted to help their community. What can you say, or what can you tell them about that? Should they should they hold back, or what will be your advice to them?
Yeah, first of all, why hold back? If you have this amazing idea that could radically change the world, why hold back? Two things on how you can make that work. One is, look for a mentor. Look for someone who you could go to ask questions, to give advice. Mentors are there for a reason. Now, your teachers can be your mentors. You can also look for professionals who have been working in the field for so long to give you, proper advice on so many issues. I personally have a lot of mentors in my life, both professional and personal, because they're essentially my guides to help me decide on critical issues, but at the same time, it's still got to be my decision, right? But they're my guides. Second is, this is why you need to build diverse teams. Because I'm not stereotyping people, but they say, the engineers make the best prototypes in the world. This is not, again, I'm not stereotyping. Don't take this the wrong way. But sometimes they're also the people that's having the hardest time selling it, right? So you may have the beautiful prototype at your hands, but because you don't have that sales experience, you're having a hard time selling it. So this is why you need to build a diverse team. My personal experience, I'm building a company. It's a fintech company, and I hate finance. It's not my cup of tea. But at the same time, I also understand. I mean, even though I don't personally, I'm not. I'd say I'm not an expert in finance. I find someone else who can be an expert in finance. Because I have this vision of making the world a better place through my company. And I know it involves fintech, which is not necessarily my strength. That's why I look for a co-founder that's strong in fintech or finance. So this is the dynamics that you have to marry when you're building a company. Finding a co-founder is really, really hard. And they say if you start a company, being co-founders is like a marriage. You will fight like a marriage. You will argue like you're in a marriage. I won't continue the next part. Just research it if you want. There's a second part to that quote. I'm not going to say it. But yeah, that's the important thing about finding a diverse team, is because you individually, your own strengths, and you also know your own weaknesses. So you have to find a competent team member, a co-founder, or someone who you can employ to address that weakness. So you can have a more holistic approach in solving these issues that's in front of you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Very inspiring. It's just a matter of looking for people who can parang supply, or parang give you the things that your weaknesses, kumbaga.
Yep.
Also, right? So parang if you don't know this one, you look for people who knows. Parang ganon. Yep. Yeah. So I think that's also one way to build a team in a collaborative team.
Oh, one more thing that I want to ask. I want to add,
Sure.
never be afraid to ask for help. Never.
Wow.
Never be afraid to ask for help. You know, a lot of us have that nahihiya tayo na lumapit to someone. Never, don't. It's asking for help. Some people appreciate that. Some people do like giving help. You know, when you go to an elder, when you go to someone, they feel appreciated when you ask for their thoughts. When you ask for their advice, do it. There's nothing stopping you. If they say no, thank you, right? There's again nothing, no harm done. So again, no, yes, that's about it. Just never be ashamed to ask for help.
Okay, thank you for that. I think that's very valuable advice. No, yeah. So there's a question here to Sir Marion and Sir Neil. What are your personal thoughts on this year's Hult Prize Challenge, Food for Good, transforming food into a vehicle for change? So, who would like to go first? What are your personal take, or how do you approach this theme for this for 2021 challenge? Or what is it that what is it that 2021 challenge is asking really to our challengers?
Yeah, personally, it speaks a lot to my own personal lifestyle. I'm not the healthiest person in the world. I do make a lot of, I'd say, dumb decisions on the food that I take. But it's also a call to action, especially during this pandemic. Especially here in Luzon, we see all these farmers from Benguet that are trying to deliver food to Manila, but because there's just no demand, it just turns out as waste. They're trying to salvage a year's long worth of work by selling them for such a minimal value. So it speaks a lot to me because our food systems really need to change. We are eating the more that we intake processed food, it's not necessarily healthy for us. And even before COVID, when you go to a fast food chain, there have been stories that even cooked chickens, they throw it away. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fence, you have hungry people barely surviving to eat anything. Some families eat, they'll be happy with just rice and salt as their food. So that needs to change. And I think this is a really, really good opportunity for us to be able to, one, solve hunger. Second, again, provide equitable jobs. And I think it's also a good launching point towards post-COVID recovery. And then third is the Philippines is an agricultural country. Davao is a hub for a lot of industries like cacao. Why don't we utilize that? We are an agricultural country. We have to embrace it. We eat rice every day. Food is part of our life, and Filipinos love eating. And I think we should be at the forefront of changing the dynamics of how Filipino food is being served and how it should be sustained in the long term. Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
Neil, you're from
Yes.
Mindanao, one of the agricultural region in the
Yes,
Philippines.
it's really a basket for food. Well, in my case, for example, if you would ask really my personal thoughts, I'd like to say that because of my roots, which is into chemical engineering and also into the medical area, it's tricky, but I think it's worth the risk. In my case, if I'd be joining, I'd look for some mentors which are good also on something that I'm thinking on the line that let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. So, for example, there are a lot of herbal medicines in the country, then I'd like to play on it. Well, according to the Philippine Institute of Traditional Alternative Healthcare, there's actually selected medicinal plants in the Philippines that I can work with because that's food for good. But there's a tradition in Pitak, this is actually under DOH, that at the same time, they're not only creating herbal medicine, but at the same time, they're giving this as a livelihood program for those mothers in some areas, for other people, and they're doing it organically. Well, I think that's an idea, but also there's a lot really to do with food that they can create with the challenge, and I think that Mindanao is already having an edge to this. For example, in Davao City, the Davao Malagos chocolates were just awarded as one of the best chocolates in the world, right? That's a very recent news, and I think that you can play with it. You can have an enterprise out of chocolates, out of doing a program about chocolates, and that is something that is Hult Prize worthy. Chocolates is considered to be the gold in South America. So bring that aspect to South America or to any other regions and share it to the world. It's really on
Yes,
what's
that's
around
true.
you. It's really on what's around you. Like utilize everything that you think has the potential into the international scene.
Yeah, that's true. Because recently, Davao City is also being conferred as the capital, cacao capital of the country. I think, yeah, and I have also talked with some of the cacao producers and the cacao value chain makers, and they said that it is still, although we can consider Davao City is the cacao capital of the Philippines, but our farmers are still struggling. There are still gaps in making our chocolates at par with the international demand. So that's very interesting.
Yes, that's true.
Take,
Because, like,
yes.
for example, I just like to share an experience. In Ecuador, chocolates is very amazing. Like they mix passion fruit on it, and it's very expensive already. And I can always say that we can do this in Davao, but nobody's doing it or whatever. So it's really on what's around you, and you can what.
Yeah, okay. So I think this is already answered by Neil at some point a little bit, because the question here, and also to Sir Marion can answer, where and how do you find inspiration and ideas in making researches and startups? So that's a
You can work
general
with it.
question. Mm-hmm.
In my case, really, I had a lot of researches na funded by DOST. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, my last paper in UM was funded by DOST for a couple of M's already. So I think I look onto the roots of the problem, to the roots of the community, then there are problems onto it. Then I do this idea webbing, idea mapping. Then by then I already can create a little solution. Then I ask the end users whether, what do you think of it? I'm not really afraid to ask. And that's why I always, and not I end up most of the time to good solutions that ends up as a good research, as a research funded by the university or any other in giving bodies in terms of funding. So I think that's really onto it. Like, what's a problem? What solution can you do? And the problem should always be like near to you as well, like close to you, so that you will have passion to it.
How about Sir Marion? Do you have any your own thought process or your process in creating or thinking of ideas for startups?
For inspiration, frankly, and this is not a cheesy answer, but frankly, your family, your friends, your community,
Mm-hmm.
they are the ones that you should be trying to help out first. If you see your members of your family that are suffering from hunger. Sorry, by the way, my internet connection is a bit unstable, so I think you might lose me every now and then. But they are the main source of your inspiration. Your family, your friends. You might, and also your surroundings. I'm from Cavite. I live in a fishing town. So if you ask me what would be my inspiration to do something like this, it would probably be seafood. Because in the agriculture spectrum, we have an aquaculture industry in my hometown, not necessarily an agricultural one. So that's one. Second is, things that you're very passionate about. For example, by the way, the challenge is very broad. Just don't think about it just about food specifically. This also involves supply chain. And my background is I used to work in logistics. I was managing air freight export. We are sending okras to Tokyo. We're sending tunas to Zurich and Amsterdam. And again, these are the things that affect me. So because of my experience in this field, in this industry, it can also be, an inspiration to do this challenge. Or, and this might, again, sound very cheesy, but remember when your grandmother used to cook you something, and that something, that recipe or that, the way they cook, it's disappearing. One crazy idea that I had when I was, just exploring the food scene, and if you want to take on it, just let me know. Remember how all our lolas have different amazing recipes? I'm pretty sure all your lolas have amazing recipes, right? But you want to introduce that recipe to the world. Why not? Why don't we have like a restaurant or a chain of restaurants that introduces our lolas cooking? I was already thinking it like lolas, and then the name of the dish is the name of your lola. There's a story behind it, and we can employ the lolas and the nanais in the different areas where they might be suffering from hunger and unemployment. Empowering these women who have nothing and make a living out of it. And for you, as someone who's starting this, there's so much story into it because this is your family story. This is your tradition. In your case in Davao, you have such an amazing food culture. Why don't we bring that to the world? When we think about Filipino food, it's very mostly either Kapampangan or Ilonggo or Ilocano or Bicolano. There is so much more diversity in food, and I think that's a good opportunity for us to introduce these types of dishes to the world, but at the same time infuse it with social impact to empower the youth, to empower women, and to empower everyone on the supply chain, so that your company, your idea, it can be as simple as a restaurant. Frankly, it can be as simple as a sari-sari store or a turo-turo or even a food cart. The difference is you are not only starting a business, but you are empowering a community so that you can create more wealth for everyone to share. That's it.
Wow, that's very amazing. Good point. One from Neil is that you go into your community, you look for the problems and try to solve it, because that's a very sure way that your enterprise can actually solve the problem, because you're in the ground. Second is that from Marion is that it's not necessarily have to be like the physical food enterprise, right? The product enterprise. It probably is something like about logistics, making ways or enterprises that can probably bring the produce of our farmers to the main market or to their markets, especially now COVID-19, where the travel and the logistic part is very, very difficult for them, especially aside from the cost, aside from the restrictions and all other things. So perhaps maybe moving forward after the pandemic, we can think of an enterprise that will last even after, hopefully, hopefully soon, the pandemic will be over. So I guess that's it. We don't already have questions. Thank you very, very much for a very enlightening talk with you, Sir Marion and Sir Neil. We are so much enriched, as much as the vegetables and the fruits. Charot. Anyways, thank you so much for this.
One more thing.
For your
Can I just do a
sure.
parting word on behalf of the Hult Prize Foundation? Thank you very much for your interest, for your participation, and for your drive to make a difference in your communities. Doing this project is not, doing this challenge is not just about solving the world's problem, getting that $1 million and taking it home. Sometimes you just need to solve one person's problem. If you solve that problem, then another person might have the same issue, or you might find another person with the same demographic that's experiencing the same challenge. Then that solution will also work for that person. It's all about scalability. And at the end of the day, whatever the outcome is, there will be teams that will succeed in the Hult Prize. There will be teams that unfortunately wouldn't be able to make the cut because this is still a competition. But do not let that hinder you from stopping. Do not let that hinder you from achieving your dreams and pursuing your passion, because at the end of the day, this is about what you can do for the community and how we can, again, be the generation to change the world. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very, very much. Such an insightful discussion with our speakers for tonight. This time, of course, to cap off our info session and of course the launching of our on-campus program, we would like to call the Hult Prize at University of Mindanao Campus Director, Mr. Richard Arday. Sir Richard?
Thank you, Rob. Akala ko the hot price. All right. So kidding aside, firstly, I would like to thank everyone, especially our partners, media partners, and our sponsors for helping us plan out and prepare for the on-campus program of the Hult Prize Foundation at the University of Mindanao. So, nandito ang Mindanao Times as our media partners, UMasenso Hub, so they've been very generous with the prices. So later you will know how much our prices are for this year. StreetBy also will be giving some vouchers, so we'll disclose that on the coming days. Surplus for giving us some of their experts for the bootcamp, and for the Council of Student Government for promoting our events online. So hopefully we can get more submissions out of the promotions and, you know, convert all of those tractions that we're getting, the likes, the hearts, the reacts that we're getting from the social media platform that we have to participants for this year's challenge. So the Hult Prize at the University of Mindanao is also thankful to our guests who are very energetic and generous to share their insights with us this evening. Marian, thank you very much for taking the time. I know you're so busy. So because the Philippine Startup Week is near, and we're preparing all the TBI networks, all the startup networks in the country is very busy right now, people, because we have an annual week event for the startups, the incubators, the accelerators, the investors. So we're looking forward to that, and I think Hult Prize in the Philippines is one of the partners, right?
No. It's actually Draper Startup House, which is my other company.
Oh. All right.
But since you already brought up the Philippine Startup Week, I'd also like to invite everyone to attend. Philippine Startup Week. It's coming in in a few weeks. My team at Draper Startup House will be moderating a session about venture funding. So if you're interested to raise money and raise capital and also expand in the region in Southeast Asia, please tune in and watch that session. And at the same time, I personally will also be moderating a session which is organized by CIP Nitro, Technological Institute of the Philippines, and Wadhwani Foundation. And we're talking about, we're highlighting an ecosystem. It's an international ecosystem highlight featuring India and Australia. And in that session, we'll be joined by an amazing panel composed of a venture capitalist, a CEO and founder of the first nationally accredited incubator in Australia, and also the vice president of Wadhwani Foundation. So if you're interested in also expanding in those markets and learning from how they adapted to the new normal, I suggest you please visit and join us there. So yeah.
Fantastic. So also Neil, of course, you're traveling right now, you're in Jensen. Thank you very much for accommodating us on your schedule. So Neil, thank you very much.
Always, Chard. Always.
So
from UP, UM to Hult Prize.
All right. So, and also, of course, the Hult Prize on Campus program is not just about you creating ideas, submitting it, and having the goal to end up at the regionals or the world's competition. So basically, it's also about leadership. So because having a team, managing a team, being together, and also learning from each other is something that is valuable in this kind of journey, in this startup journey that you will have at the Hult Prize on Campus program. So that's why we are encouraging people, the students of the University of Mindanao, to submit your startup ideas, your enterprise ideas to us through our website. And also this is about community impact. So university students, creating impact nowadays is something that everybody can do. So regardless of your age. So dati, di ba, pag mga bata, parang they are less likely expected to contribute something to the community. But right now, the innovation world, the ecosystem of the startup community, the ecosystem of technology itself is helping each other regardless of age, regardless of gender, of demographic background, kung ano pa man yan, to contribute something. So that's why may nakikita ka sa television na kahit ang babata pa, they have created something for the farmers, which created larger or bigger impact compared to those older people kung titingnan natin yung edad. So this is your time to show off your talent. At the same time, this is a very good opportunity for you to, get mentorship and to hear a lot of valuable insights from the mentor that we will show you or that we will have during the bootcamp. So with all of these things, I officially launched Hult Prize at the University of Mindanao. So we have a lot of activities lined up for you. So there's going to be a Saturday schedule for our webinars. So of course, for those people who are still trying to figure out and trying to refine their ideas, their enterprise ideas, trying to create their team. So it's fine. We will help you out with that. We will crystallize everything for you. So every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. we have scheduled a launchpad. So yung launchpad, it's a webinar series of Hult Prize at wherein we will feature different topics about food for good. So from logistics, from reusing or recycling of the food, yung akala natin dapat itapon na. So there's still use for that. So I will talk about that. Logistics issues, logistic concerns, how do we address the agriculture problem in the Philippines? We'll talk about that. And interestingly, eto malapit na. So November 14, guys. So November 14, this is sa Saturday, 6:30 p.m. So just ang ating bisita or guest is the Secretary of the Mindanao Development Authority, si Manny Piñol. So he will be attending our webinar to discuss about the agriculture issues in Mindanao and in the Philippines. Perhaps because Mindanao or the farms in Mindanao, the produce that we've been shipping to other parts of the country and even outside. So malaki ang impact natin. So Secretary Manny, wow, close kami, no? We'll be discussing that. So also for logistics, we have Cherry Ann Liangoy about, she will be discussing about how StreetBy, a mobile application that also empowers people who participate in the food chain and food supply during the time of crisis. Because, people, to be safe, they just book their food, their meal, right? So Cherry will talk about that on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. again. And lastly, we also have, sino pa nga yun? We also have Aris. So Aris is the founder from coffee industry. So he'll be talking about a friend of mine. Oh my God, I'm seeing a very nice merch. Sige. So we'll look forward to that. So, and I think, I hope everybody is excited, and I wanted to see you all on Saturday for our first series of Launchpad. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Richard Day, the Hult Prize at Campus Director. And of course, again, for those who wanted to register their team, you may visit the www.hultprize.com/UM-Philippines. Okay, so again, that's it. And that ends our info session and launching of the on-campus program. We will be waiting for all your entries and all your teams to register on our Hult Prize on-campus program. And of course, we will be waiting for entries to take on the global finals, diba? Let's aim for the best. And also, thank you for all those who attended this session. Again, this is Rob Gumba, the Hult Prize at Operations Manager and your moderator for tonight. Thank you very much, and good night. Be safe to all of you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Good luck, UM team.
So you love food. Food is life, right? But even for once, did you ever wonder, what did it cost to reach my plate?
Are the farmers getting the most of their produce?
Is it really healthy as it says?
Was there a fair trade?
Is it safe for the environment?
You probably have known the answers, and you have disruptive ideas to effect change or improve others' lives, waiting to be realized. Now is your chance to build on that enterprise.
Hult Prize, the biggest global movement for social impact, is once again opening doors to the young individuals to become the next change makers in the food industry.
This year, Hult Prize launches the 2021 challenge dubbed as Food for Good, transforming food into a vehicle of change.
We are inviting the students of the University of Mindanao with potential impact-driven and scalable startup ideas to join the Hult Prize OnCampus Program and jumpstart their social enterprise for the Food for Good Challenge. The program aims to equip challengers with the right knowledge and tools in building their startups.
All you have to do is to form a team with 3 to 4 members, either coming from the same program or from different departments and year levels. Register your team at the www.hultprize@.com/UM-Philippines.
This is your opportunity to pitch your ideas to the members of the United Nations.
Thank you on behalf of the Hult Prize Foundation family, United Nations, Hult International Business School, and all of our partners for making it here.
Compete with other startup founders around the world.
And a chance to win $1 million startup capital in the global final competition.
Are you ready to take on the challenge and create a positive impact?
Be the next change maker.